this is Vanessa Joy here with Adorama TV, and I am here with Sal Cincotta. Sal, how you doing?
Good, how are you today?
And Sal and I are going to have a little discussion about, well, what life is all about, I guess.
We're going to figure out the meaning of life today?
We're going to figure out the meaning of life today.
That is good. I need to know. So this is good. Clue me in on it.
Well, the reason I wanted to interview Sal is because I know that Sal and I have very different definitions of success, which is something that I talk about. When I talk about success, I define it by how much free time I have and how much time I get to spend not working, how much time I get to spend with my daughter, my family, my brother. He's shaking his head like I'm nuts. So fine, what is your definition of success?
My definition of success, I would say, is a little bit along the lines of world domination. That's what motivates me every single day. I want to win. I want to win all the time. So, but there's nothing wrong with your definition either. I think success is defined by you as an individual, and I think that's where most people, I don't know, maybe get confused with the whole thing, and they feel bad about it, right? Like I run into people, and you shouldn't feel bad because you want free time and you don't maybe want an 80-hour-a-week career or to have millions of dollars. You don't feel bad, but you also shouldn't feel bad if, like me, you want world domination. There's nothing wrong with that either.
Absolutely. So when people say things to you like, what do you do in your free time? What do you say?
In my free time, I like to actually create. That's what really does motivate me. And you're seeing that in, what we've created between Shutterfest, Shutter Magazine, our own company. Idle hands for me are brutal. Like I cannot stand,
I'm pretty sure that it's even like a proverb, like, idle hands leads to just problems. Boredom is never a good thing.
Well, some people, they love sitting on a beach, relaxing, kicking back, reading a book, right?
Absolutely.
There's a picture of me, and I don't know if we have it anymore, but there's a picture of me, and my team is laughing, of me sitting on a beach in Hawaii. It was a wrap-up of a very long year. I'm on a beach with a towel over my head on my laptop. Now, to anyone else looking at that, they might be like, God, he's got a miserable life. But I got to be honest with you, I was in heaven in that moment. And
at least maybe your feet were getting tan.
Yeah, and I've got a mean farmer's tan, so I needed it there. But, for me, sitting on a beach reading a book is torture. But again, success is defined differently by everyone. And I think maybe, the messaging around that is, figure out what makes you tick. Figure out what's going to make you happy in life. And that's what you have to pursue versus trying to fit into anyone's stereotype of what happiness is, what success is, right?
So assuming you never actually dominate the world, how do you know when you have been successful, either in the day or the year or at this point in your life?
But for me, what I do is I set up daily tasks that I want to accomplish. And think of it like this way. I put a flag out there for myself, for my team, on things I want to accomplish today, right here, right now. And it could be as simple as like, hey, read one chapter in this book, go to the bank, photo shoot, plan, my next stylized shoot. Really small tasks to very big tasks. A lot of people have these big tasks. It might be, for a photographer, it might be open up your own studio, right? Your own retail space. That's a huge task. There's, 100 micro tasks that have to happen before that. Right. I like to work at the micro level. Yes, I have this big task that I'm trying to accomplish, but maybe you want to be a full-time photographer. And you set that task of being a full-time photographer, but it's going to take a year to get there because all these other things have to happen. So it's seemingly, you become, just kind of disenchanted with the whole thing if you don't accomplish that task. So instead, set up micro tasks that you're accomplishing, and it lets you feel the success,
Concentrating on the means to the end rather than just the end.
Exactly, yeah.
I love that. So that's what success looks like to you from day to day. What does failure look like to you?
That's a good one. Failure to me is not hitting my goals, whatever those goals are, and I think we all put pressure on ourselves to accomplish different things in life. I mean, everybody's got their own set of goals. Some are personal, some are professional. I think I'm my toughest critic when it comes to that. I put a lot of pressure on myself, a lot of pressure on my team to perform, and I'm a realist as well. I get it. Every day, we're not going to accomplish everything we put down, right? But some people are like eternal optimists, right? They'll put this list together of items, and it's got like 20 things they're trying to do in a day, and they never accomplish those things. And for me, that would become almost poison.
And counterproductive, because you're going to be so discouraged by the fact that you're not accomplishing those things that you probably couldn't have humanly done anyway.
Right. You're spot on. You're setting yourself up for failure because every day you're looking at this list of things you didn't do versus seeing the positive in the things you did do.
So how do you deal? I love your definition of success. I love that you've made those goals and that you are striving towards them. How do you deal with other people in your life that are against that? Like, for example, you're close with your mom. Your mom loves you. I'm sure she wants to spend time with you, but you don't have all the time in the world. How do you separate or balance work life in that with your definition of success taking up so much time?
Yeah, I'm convinced that work-life balance, that term, I want to punch the person in the face, whoever even tried to create that term, because I really don't believe it exists, right? But, you know,
if your work is your life, it certainly does, I guess.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I think it's very important to surround yourself with people who share the same vision. And that's from maybe a work perspective, because with your family, you can't always have them share your vision. It's your vision. Right. What I found, though, is that my family and the people closest to me that support me, while they don't necessarily share my vision for world domination, they accept me for who I am, right? And I think that's equally as important, to just have people around you who maybe they don't understand you, maybe they don't even get what's going on in your head, and that's okay, but just accept me for who I am, the madman that I am. Because I think we all have our own level of crazy built inside of all of us, right?
That's how we are loved by others, when we know that they're accepting that crazy.
Yeah, and I know I got my fair share of crazy, so I just accept it.
Probably about 5 years ago, I saw a video where you were talking about your dad. And one of the things that your dad had said to you at some point was, promise me you would do well.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yes.
Do you think you've done well?